The spook on the way back, that's the one that gets people. Not the first time past the scary hedge, not the flapping feed bag someone left by the gate. Those make a kind of sense. It's the second pass, the one where nothing has changed, the horse has already looked at it, and they blow sideways anyway, like they've never seen it before in their life, like the hedge grew teeth while you weren't watching. Most people file that under horse being a horse. A few people say it's testing you, seeing if it can get away with it. Neither of those explanations is right. What's actually happening is a function of how the horse's brain is built, and once you understand it, the spook stops being irrational and starts being completely logical. Horses are prey animals, you know that, but knowing it and understanding what it does to a brain are two different things. When something triggers the startle response in a horse, the signal doesn't go through the cortex first. It doesn't go through the thinking part, the processing part, the let me evaluate whether this represents a genuine threat part. It bypasses all of that and goes straight to the amygdala, the part of the brain that has one job, which is to keep the animal alive long enough to figure out the rest. The body is already moving before the horse has consciously registered what it saw. That's not a training failure. That's the system working exactly as it was designed to. Here's the part most people don't know. The horse's brain is lateralized more strongly than a human's. The two hemispheres, left and right, don't share information the way ours do. In humans, the corpus callosum is relatively thick. Information moves quickly between sides. In horses, that transfer is slower, more selective, and this matters enormously for how they experience the world. A horse has almost 350 degrees of visual field, nearly the whole horizon, but most of that vision is monocular, one eye at a time. When your horse passes something on the left eye sees it, the right eye hasn't. And when you turn around and come back, the right eye is seeing it for the first time, and the right hemisphere of the brain, which handles that visual input, genuinely has not encountered this object before. The information from the earlier pass doesn't transfer automatically. So the horse that spooks on the way home isn't being dramatic. It is, in a meaningful sense, encountering that hedge for the first time. I want to be careful here, because this isn't universal. Some horses show stronger lateralization than others. Some training approaches specifically work to desensitize each side independently, which is exactly the right call once you understand why. But as a general pattern, this is real, it's documented, and it explains a lot.
Now, the spooks that seem to come from nothing at all, the ones where your horse has been walking calmly for 20 minutes and then just detonates. No visible trigger, no sudden movement, nothing you can identify. And here's where it gets interesting. Horses are not processing the world through vision alone. They're integrating smell, sound, air pressure, ground vibration, all of it simultaneously. A shift in wind direction can carry a scent that the horse's olfactory system flags as predator adjacent before anything registers visually. The visual cortex gets the message late. The body is already responding. What we interpret as spooking at nothing is usually spooking at something we don't have the sensory equipment to detect. That's a different problem than an irrational horse. That's a horse that is better calibrated to its sensory environment than we are, reacting to data we don't have access to. That doesn't mean every spook is a legitimate threat. The startle system is deliberately imprecise. In the wild, a horse that waited to confirm the threat was actually a predator before running would not have survived long enough to pass on its genes. The system is built to fire early. False positives are the cost of staying alive. Sit with that for a second. Every horse that is ever spooked by a plastic bag, a shadow, a garden hose, that horse's brain made the right call from an evolutionary standpoint. It fired the alarm before it had all the information. That's not stupidity, that's survival architecture. This is also why habituating a horse to something on one side isn't the same as habituating them to it on the other. Each hemisphere needs its own exposure. Each eye is reporting to a different processing center. Treating the whole horse as one unit, one brain, one experience, often produces results that feel inconsistent because they are inconsistent. You built the memory on one side. There's something else happening with memory consolidation that doesn't get talked about enough. Horses don't always retain the learning from being exposed to something frightening and surviving it. Stress hormones, cortisol, adrenaline can interfere with how that experience gets encoded, which means a horse that was genuinely frightened in a situation may not walk away having learned that was fine. Sometimes they walk away having learned that place is dangerous, and the specific trigger gets associated more broadly than you'd expect. Worth knowing, because it changes how you think about what you're doing when you push a horse through something rather than working below the threshold where the stress response fully activates. The horse may be going through the motion without building the memory you're trying to build. The practical side of this is simple enough to say and genuinely hard to do. Work each side. Actually work each side, not just walk past something twice in different directions and assume they've seen it, but slow, systematic exposure to the same object from the left and from the right, with enough repetition that both hemispheres accumulate a memory of safety. Don't mistake calm on one side for calm on the other. They're not the same horse in that moment. And when a horse spooks at something you can't see, and they always will, try to sit with the possibility that they're not wrong. They might be wrong about what it is, but they probably detected something. The sensory gap between what you perceive and what they perceive is real. There's a version of this where understanding the mechanism changes your emotional response too, not the horse's, yours. The moment a spook stops feeling like a betrayal or a test or a dominance bid and starts feeling like what it actually is, a brain doing exactly what it was built to do, something shifts. You can't be offended by architecture. The question worth sitting with, and I don't have a clean answer for this, is how much of what we call a spooky horse is a horse with a faster firing, more sensitive alarm system, and how much of it is a horse that learned somewhere along the way that the world was less predictable than it should have been. Those are different horses. They need different things, and the distinction isn't always easy to make from the saddle. Go watch your horse the next time you pass something unfamiliar. Watch which eye they lead with. Watch whether the other eye gets a separate look. It's easy to miss. It's worth catching.